What's up, guys? Today for Whiteboard Wednesday, we're going to continue on with improving a baseball pitcher in the weight room. So we're on to the early cocking stage. This is where the hands have separated and where basically it goes all the way to foot contact. And its big part is where we're pushing off the rubber as we generate power from that back leg. So what we can work on in the weight room that we haven't talked about already is where that hip-shoulder separation is occurring, lower body force production, horizontal force production pressing out towards the plate, and then your scapular work, which the scapular work we covered in the last one. You can go back and look at exercises for that. With the hip-shoulder separation, it's continuing with hip mobility drills to really allow us to activate more range of motion in the hip. So it could be working on hip mobility drills for internal external rotation, like the 90-90s that she's doing right there, or it could be where we're working on extension and flexion of the hip. Then you would want to strengthen those new ranges with single leg exercises based off the assessments that we've done and what we're looking to build off of. So it could be like that skater squat right there if needed. When we're looking at lower body force production, you're talking trap bar deadlift variations. It could be a regular one like this, or it could be a split deadlift. Along with that, you got split squat variations, single leg squats, weighted jumps are another great exercise for actually building power. When we're looking at like the strength stuff, it's that prerequisite for power. And then plyometrics, vertical jumps, box jumps, step drops, step jumps, things like that to really build that extra power in the legs. So when we're looking at horizontal force production, we want to look at things like if we're looking at actual power, we're talking broad jumps, lateral bounds, rotational lateral bounds. Rotational lateral bounds is probably the closest one we're going to look at when it comes to sport. You're jumping off that leg and landing on the other and rotating, so it's getting closer to actually throwing off the mound. We used to do it actually. My mentor used it as a tool where we measure out the distance that you're pressing out, because also the distance on those jumps are important, because that's if you can, the further you're able to press out off the mound often can equal to more velocity. Then we're talking Cossacks, lateral lunges, and curtsy squats are exercises to work that frontal plane right there to actually strengthen the legs in that plane. And it's, if you look at how you're loading and pressing out when you're pitching, those movements are going to strengthen those muscles, which more importantly are going to allow us to actually get and press out off of the rubber. And that covers this portion here.